Yo, what's going on, Blackish fam? I hope all is well in your corner of the world. We're going to do something a little bit different today. I was just visiting some videos online. I'm always doing searches as to what we can react to, different, very lyrical artists. But normally I look for something that's bringing positive change, right? Discussing our communities of color, discussing incremental change or problems with politics. I wanted to do it a little bit different today because, as most of you guys know, I'm born and raised in Chicago. I just moved a few years ago to the western suburbs of Chicago, but I still have a property in the city. I'm in Chicago damn near every day, every other day. But I came across a video called Visit Chicago, the don'ts of visiting Chicago. And it looks like it's from a really cool channel. The gentleman's name is, it's called Walter's World. And as I was watching it, I was just like, man, what a cool video. But it's not the same experience. It's not from a minority perspective. Not that there's anything wrong with that, because I think a lot of people visit Chicago and they stay in the Magnificent Mile, right? And they go visit the Art Institute. And all of us Chicago natives are sitting there and it's like, bro, while you're doing all that, realize that Chicago is actually behind you. And it's full of great restaurants and things to do, but you have to move a little bit differently in Chicago. You hear all these stats. Oh man, it's a crime capital, the murder capital, and no, Chicago is a beautiful place, but you really need a knowledgeable person to help guide you and direct you. So I thought it might be cool to just do a reaction video to Visit Chicago, the don'ts of visiting Chicago, and this is more or less for your person that's not on some six-figure income coming into Chicago to go watch a beautiful play and walk around downtown, but you really want to get down with Chicago and you want to understand the people, the diversity, the great food, then this is for you, and we can help break down exactly how to make moves when you're visiting Chicago. So, without further ado, let's get right into it here. Let's check
Hey,
out.
fellow travelers, Mark here with Walter's World. Today
What's
we're
up,
here
Mark?
in Chicago, Millennium Park. We've got the beam behind us, and today what we have for you are the don'ts of visiting Chicago. And this city is fantastic. Tons of great museums, awesome people, amazing food. Weather, sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. But the thing is, even in great cities like Chicago, we got the things you want to do, and we got the things you don't do. So the first don't I have for you, probably the most important don't I have for you when you come to Chicago is don't drive and don't deal with the parking. Look, Chicago traffic is horrible all year round, all day long, all the time. Whether you're heading out to O'Hare, the airport, driving here downtown, taking the interstate around the city, driving is just chaotic here. And the thing is, the people are very aggressive drivers too, so it could be a little hair-raising, white-knuckly when you are driving here in Chicago. So just have a heads up for that. So if you can, just don't drive when you're here. And also,
now, see, this is already there's a different perspective. Chicago, let's be real, there's a lot of parts of Chicago that are not so safe. You 100% want to get a vehicle, a rental vehicle, if you're visiting anywhere inside of Chicago. Because it's just simply not safe all the time on public transit. If you're with kids, you're with your loved one, and you're outside of your youth, right? Your youthful days are behind you. When you visit Chicago, get a rental car right at the airport. Downtown Chicago is very different, right? You can get around downtown Chicago with an Uber, you can catch the train, but after hours, remember, our downtown, it's a ghost town. Our downtown area can be very dangerous. The panhandlers come out at night. The streetwalkers come out at night. There's a lot of people clubbing. There's a lot of people that are drinking, that are out and about. But most importantly, if you want to travel actually outside of downtown Chicago and you want to actually get around within the city, public transportation is not the way to go. Yes, it's reliable. Yes, it will get you there, but you just never know what you're going to encounter. And let's be honest, if you don't know the difference between the north, west, east, and south side of Chicago, you can put yourself in a very dangerous position by just being on public transportation and looking like a tourist. You might feel like you fit in, but I guarantee you that for people from Chicago, they're looking at you like you're a victim. You're like, ooh, let's get this person, because it's the person that's like, hey, yo, here, I'll help you. they're the ones that are going to jack you. And if anybody does something like a looky here, make sure you know where your wallet is, your cell phone is, and you gotta move in Chicago with purpose, right? Don't just linger. It's not for that, but there's so many beautiful places inside the city of Chicago. Now, just understand if you're not if you're downtown Chicago, you're not really understanding the whole city. There's so much more that's behind you, and to visit it, you really need a car. You'll feel safer, you'll be more protected, but you'll get the most out of your trip as well.
So going along with that, don't deal with the parking. Oh my gosh. Parking downtown Chicago is insane expensive. Somewhere between college tuition and a mortgage payment.
Yeah, but if you're a savvy person and you're on your mobile phone, which most of us are today, you can use apps and you can actually park downtown for extremely cheap. There's parking apps that basically will showcase all of the different parking garages and places you can park downtown, and they give you a flat dollar amount, so you can actually save quite a bit of money if you book ahead of time. So if you're going to go see a play or whatnot, don't just look down on your receipt and then book their parking garage. Actually go to one of these parking apps, and then they'll tell you, hey, well, you can park here all day for just $7. And you prepay and you just show your phone when you enter, and it scans your barcode, and you're done. It's really not that big of an issue to have a car even downtown Chicago, but you have to plan ahead, right? If you're going to go on Groupon and you're going to get the tickets to a wonderful show, there's no shortage of them in downtown Chicago, but you'll get the address of the show. Let's say it's at the Chicago Theater, and you just put it in one of these parking apps, and they'll tell you, hey, you can park here, $10. And when normally it's like $40, right? And it's a deterrent to driving a car. But it's honestly not that bad, but you have to plan ahead.
I think that's where parking is here in Chicago. So what I recommend is come in with the train, fly in, use public transport,
Ooh.
whatever. Try not to drive when you are here.
Ooh, that train, I'm telling you, if you're going to get on the Red Line or any of these lines that travel, they all do what's called going into the Loop, which is our downtown area, but they all go through some sort of hood area. And I'm telling you, there's a lot of places on the train that there's going to be panhandlers, there's going to be people coughing and walking around without a mask. There's going to be people asking you for money. You might want to make sure not to pull out your belongings. It's going to smell like urine. There's people sleeping on the trains. A lot of times your maps showing you which stop to get off are actually vandalized or taken down. So I definitely suggest if you're an out-of-towner coming into Chicago and you don't plan on spending 100% of your time at a hotel or downtown Chicago, make sure you rent a car. It's so much safer. You're going to have such a better experience.
Now the thing is, if you are driving to Chicago, you got to park and stuff like that, get the parking at your hotel and just leave it. Use public transport, use Uber, use whatever. You can walk around the city easily because you don't have to get out, try to drive, find another place to park, play another.
When he talks about walking around the city, again, you can walk around certain areas of downtown, and for the most part, during early hours, you're normally pretty safe regardless of the area that you're at. But definitely you have to be aware of your surroundings. But I wouldn't just walk around if you don't understand 100% of where you are, or you don't have a tour guide that's from Chicago. Don't get one of these cats that are like, yo, I'm from Chicago. He's from Park Ridge, right? And he doesn't understand how to move in Chicago so that you blend in and just avoid any sort of drama or any problems. Again, Chicago is a beautiful place, but if you're just staying downtown, you're not getting a taste of Chicago. That's not how we move in Chicago. Again, Chicago is behind you, and it's going to take at least 20 minutes to get into the inner city of Chicago, and it's just so beautiful. So much food, so much good people, good places, and really cool things to explore that aren't showcased downtown like you would think.
Another insane expensive parking rate when you're there. Just don't do that, okay? And that kind of leads into our second don't is don't worry about not driving because the CTA, the Chicago Transit Authority, actually has really good public transportation here in Chicago. I mean, this is what public transportation should be in the U.S. They've got the elevated train going around. That'll take you all over the place. The bus system here, awesome. And the thing is, it goes to pretty much every tourist place you want to go as a tourist. You can go there on public transportation. And what's cool is actually the...
Okay, don't get sent off, because on a lot of these lines, there's people that are looking for what's called VICs, right? A VIC is a victim. It's a middle-aged person, normally a white person or a suburban person, and they can tell, right? There's people that they're out on these red line platforms. Now, imagine an undercover detective, which we have those too that are riding public transportation, but there's undercover detectives on the other side, right? There's these people that are low key that don't look like they're people that you should be concerned about, but they're looking for crimes of opportunity, right? They're looking for you to pull out, you and your fiance pull out your cell phone. They peep at what iPhone you have, right? And they're going to go, if you're a tourist, you might be traveling around with some sort of cash, right, for things that you can't buy off credit. They know that, right? You have some sort of tablet with you. So you can't just ride the L and just be holding a tablet, watching, catching up on old episodes of Seinfeld. You will do what's called getting got, right? Someone will check you. People in Chicago, they can be somewhat aggressive, right? And they're not afraid of confrontation. So also watch your mouth, right? If someone says, yo, bro, straighten out your hat, man. Hey, where you from, bro? What's up, bro? Hey, man, I'm just telling. I got something important going on with the fam, man. Leave me alone. Or don't say leave me alone, but maybe I might. But you probably wouldn't want to say that. You want to say something like, hey, man, I'm cool, bro, but I don't got any chains on me, fam. All right, bro. Hey, stay safe out here, man. Right? You gotta hold your own. If they're like, yo, what size shoe you wear? And you're like, 10 and a half, you're about to get got, because they're sizing you up, right? And once they know that you're a punk, you can get got on the train system quite easily. So, if you're downtown Chicago and you're just taking the train 2 stops down and you're going to go to the theater and come back to your hotel, that's fine. But what time does the play end? Keep in mind that after hours, downtown Chicago is a ghost town. And there's certain areas there's certain parts of the L that they're just not equivalent, right? The Brown Line is a north side train system, so it doesn't go through the hood. If you get on the Red Line or you get on the Green Line, you're going through some areas of Chicago that aren't ideal. And there's people that ride the system that might be homeless or might not have anywhere to go. There's people that have psychological issues. Like there's a lot going on the train system. If you're just visiting Chicago, it's cool to check out for a big festival or something like that in the morning hours, but especially if you're with family or loved ones, bro, rent the car, man. You can always park around the festival, get back to your car. You're in the safety of your own vehicle. You can keep some bottled water. You can keep some extras, things that you might need. But it's just so much safer than rolling around. And if you're rolling around with a backpack or a travel bag or a fanny pack, people know that these are things that you're keeping additional cash stash. You're keeping a cell phone. You're keeping debit cards, and people will test you on that. Just be better safe than sorry, man. Rent the car. Stop being a cheap ass. You're going to spend money out here in Chicago. Do it the right way. And if I can tell you how to move the right way, you can have a lot of fun in Chicago on a budget. But you have to be able to listen. And don't think you know everything. And don't think you're too cool for Chicago, because people will test you. Like they say, what does Kanye say in one of his songs? Make you straighten out your hat because they know you're soft, right? If they make you straighten out your hat, your hat doesn't represent anything, and it might. Being cocked to the left versus cocked to the right might mean something. Pulling your jogging pants up, having one earring versus 2 earrings, all of these things mean something in Chicago, and if you don't know what they mean, you probably don't want to mess around.
Price for the public transportation here in Chicago is actually a fair price too, so it's really cool. So make sure you do use that public transportation when you are here. Now, my next tone for you here in Chicago is don't worry about being bored. This city is chock full of world-class museums, festivals, concerts, all kinds of awesome stuff to do. You've got the Art Institute of Chicago, one of the best art museums in the world. You got the Shedd Aquarium, one of the top aquariums in the world. You got the Field Museum, one of the best natural history museums in the world. You got the Museum of Science and Industry, one of the best science museums in the world. You see where I'm going here?
Ooh, I like the beard. I'm glad I stopped on the right picture, right? But there's different ways to move. If you want to save money, there's some little known facts, right? These are the hood alternatives, right? Now, if you're from Chicago, you're from the city of Chicago, but you're just looking for something to do, and maybe you don't go out and explore as much as you can. Now, if you're from the city of Chicago, there's this thing, there's a pass that you can get by actually only having your library card. That's all you need, your signature. You go in the library card, you prove your identification, and you can actually get a pass. You can check it out like a book, and you can visit the Field Museum. You can visit some of the zoos. You can get the aquarium for free. Yes, for free. All you got to do is plan ahead, right? Go get your library card. I know a lot of people don't have them nowadays, and actually get that pass. There's actually another pass that you can purchase online that allows you to visit a ton of places at an extremely discounted rate. And if you do come to Chicago, don't just walk up to the museum and just pay their price. Understand that there's a lot of discounts. There's a lot of places that will give you an incentive to go, right? So I check out Gold Star. Gold Star is huge. I check out Groupon, right? So plan your visit ahead. And if you do that, you can also plan the parking ahead. So, like you might want to look on Gold Star and get tickets for an excellent play. I guarantee you they're on there, and you save so much money, right? I've purchased tickets where they're $150 online for great seats, and you can get these seats for $40 or $30, but you have to plan ahead again. And then when you do that, you can get the parking for $5 to $10. Now you're having an excellent family night. You're spending a reduced amount of money. Spend that extra money on food, right? After your play, after the entertainment, and get more out of it. So again, visiting Chicago is awesome, and he is right. There is no shortage of anything to do, regardless of the age group, right? And Chicago's one of those cities that doesn't sleep often. The downtown area does, but there's always something to do, which is amazing.
The planetarium, there's all kinds of great stuff here. Broadcast Museum, you got all kinds of great museums here. You don't like museums? That's fine. Hit the theater here. Pay a fraction of the price you pay in New York and see fantastic shows at the theaters here in Chicago and around. Oh, you want to do stuff with your kids? Great. You got Great America. You can go to the amusement parks that are here. There's all kinds of amazing things to do here in Chicago. So you're never really bored when you're here because there's always something else to do.
And, there's a lot of things to do. Keep in mind, Great America is about an hour north of Chicago. And there's stuff that's an hour. Keep in mind, Chicago, what some would refer to as Chicago proper, Chicago is not a very big area. There's a lot to do. But again, it's so important that you plan ahead. You can use sites like Gold Star and Groupon to help plan more family-related activities as well, the parks, activities. And just remember that if you're a Chicagoan, or let's say you're coming in from outside of Chicago, you're not going to get the Chicago experience by going to Navy Pier, right? We don't go to Navy Pier. It's whack, it's lame, it's for tourists. You're going to spend a lot of money, and it's very overpriced, but it's something that's there for tourists. It's safe. It's somewhere that's downtown Chicago. You can spend a few hours. You can go on the Ferris wheel. If you're coming out here in the summer, there are so many more exciting and fun things to do than Navy Pier. Think about the festivals going on, the neighborhood festivals. Every neighborhood has what's called a block party, and they rotate. So if you're coming out in the summer and you really want to get a taste of Chicago, again, you need to have a urban tour guide that can help guide you to the blocks where block parties are happening or festivals are happening. But it's so much more fun than just spending a day at Navy Pier. As someone who's young, hip, cool, you really want to get a taste of Chicago, not Navy Pier. I would actually tell you that if you really want to get a taste of Chicago, don't stay at the hotels that are downtown Chicago. They're way overpriced. Now, there are a lot of sites where you can get discounted rates, but what I would recommend is do an Airbnb. If you guys don't know, Chicago, although it's very diverse, Chicago is extremely segregated, not just by race, but by class. So the north, if somebody's telling you you're on the north side, they're normally saying that this is a white side of Chicago for the most part, and it's also safer. The south and west side, if you're a tourist and you don't know a lot about Chicago, I would stay away from the south and west side because there's pockets there that can be very dangerous if you're not with someone and you don't know how to move. I would kind of stay away from the south and west side. You can visit them during the day since you have your rental vehicle, and you can definitely frequent some of those really cool places on the west and south side. But I would recommend getting an Airbnb on the northwest side of Chicago. The northwest side of Chicago has a variety of different expressways. You have access to the transit system, but it's a relatively safe area of Chicago. But you're still northwest, so you're not in the little uppity Lincoln Park area, but you're in an area where there's actual people, there's actual diversity. You can go to a taco shop and get a taco dinner, 3 tacos with everything, rice, beans, and a big Coke for like $10, right? You can get real Chicago pizza. Remember, everybody talks about Chicago pizza, and they're always talking about Giordano's or Lou Malnati's. Most Chicagoans, yeah, they might go there for like your 8th grade graduation, right? Some reunion or something significant. But most people aren't just going to Giordano's every day getting deep dish pizza. There's places in Chicago like Mama Luna's, right? The real ones know about Mama Luna's. Mama Luna's puts all their fixings under the cheese itself. And just the way that they structure it, it's such a clean pizza. But you can get what's called a football pizza. You can get a mega ball. You can get a stadium pizza. And I'm talking about massive pizza that would go across the dashboard of your rental car, $40, right? It's just crazy to think about, and it's amazing. Mama Luna's Pizza, there's 2 locations for it. Definitely a must-have if you go to Chicago. You want to check out soul food, right? You want to get the experience, the minority experience in Chicago. One of the best places ever. It's the name is actually the address. It's 6978 Soul Food. And it's actually 6978 North Avenue. And it's a place, man, you go there with $20-$30, you could feed a family of 4. And it is just ridiculous. If you get they only cook certain foods on certain days of the week, right? Friday might be fish. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, they have a planned menu. So you can only choose an entree, you choose 3 sides, you choose a dessert, and you choose your beverage. And it's ridiculous. I mean, I'm talking about like $10 or $12 a person. And when you choose fried chicken, you're getting like this massive, it's a plate of only fried chicken. Your next plate has your sides, mashed potatoes, macaroni and cheese, greens, whatever it might be, ridiculous portions, unlimited beverage fill-ups, and then they either give you banana pudding at the end, or you get some other sort of dessert that they put together specifically for that night. It is crazy, and there's normally a Groupon. That's originally how I found it, and they have a back area. If you're coming to Chicago and you need a reserved space, man, I've reserved their back area. It's something like $200 and seats like 100 people. But you can get trays of food for $50 each. Think about that. I've used it, reserved space in the back, and you can get a tray of chicken, $50, a tray of Italian beef, $50, salad, mac and cheese, and then you can actually have a little gathering, which could be cool if you're going to Chicago, you're meeting friends, they put good music on, there's a full bar there, so there's little tips and tricks. When you come to Chicago, remember, venture out into the city. Get a car. There's so many cool places, and the money is just right. You can. There's a lot of good places like to go buy a hot dog and things like that. Like Portillo's is awesome. You gotta get Portillo's when you're out here. But remember, there's a lot of mom and pop shops that are amazing. Like there's a place called Jimmy's Red Hots. It's on the corner of Grand and Pulaski. You know, not the best area, but you can go there easily, walk in and out, get your food. There's nowhere to sit there, and they'll look at you crazy if you ask for ketchup on your hot dog. But you can get a bag, and I'm talking about a bag of fries with a hot dog with the works on it, and they'll be like $2, $3. And you're just like, I'm sorry, I want to make sure you got the order right. It's a fixed price. And the guy, the actual owner of the store, there's always somebody there that just has a pistol on his waist. You know they've been held up that many times. But there's a lot of respect for Jimmy's in the hood. They let Jimmy's do their thing. The hot dogs are incredible. They've been there forever. It's just something, it's a must-have. If you're in Chicago and you want to actually taste a hot dog that Chicagoans are getting every so many days, and do yourself a favor, give them $10 and get 3 of those bad boys. They got Polish sausages. They got those little tamales that they have in school that have the plastic wrappers that you boil. They're like $1. It's just something crazy. But again, you just need to move with purpose. You go to Jimmy's Red Hots, don't linger outside like, oh, this is an amazing hot dog. How do you like it? Bam, bam, boom, bam, bam, right? You got to move with purpose, man. Get your hot dog, get back to your car. Go somewhere in a well-lit area or go eat on the way somewhere, right? Or do what you have to do. Don't linger because you're sticking out like a sore thumb. And people there's a lot of people in Chicago that are looking for an opportunity, right?
What else do we need to do? What's next? What's next? What's next? And if you come here in the summertime, I know I'm not here in the summertime right now, but you come in the summer, there's all kinds of great festivals going on when you're here.
100%.
My personal favorite is the Taste Chicago, which is right behind the camera here. You go there, you try different foods from different restaurants throughout the city. Oh my God.
The Taste of Chicago has become just a criminal's paradise. The Taste of Chicago used to be cool, but it's very overpriced food. And what you do is you purchase tickets. Then you use those tickets to purchase a certain amount of food. So they might say, okay, 6 tickets will get you a half sandwich. So you can try all these amazing restaurants. Yeah, cool in theory. But what happened? Basically, the Taste of Chicago just became this, it's so packed that it's become dangerous. And when shootings started happening more often, the last time I went there, and I have kids, right, and I have a family. The last time I went there, people were randomly they opened fire on the CTA, on the transit. So imagine you're in this packed train, and you're just put in there like sheep, and someone is actually shooting at the train. This isn't a bulletproof train. Just the senseless killing, the senseless violence in Chicago, it's through the roof. That's when I stopped going to the Taste of Chicago. There's also, people will approach you as you're walking the public transportation. There's no ability to drive there. People will show you gold. They'll show you all sorts of things that they've stolen. It's become a place where it's like, it's kind of, I think of like Aladdin and the monkey moving through the market, and they're stealing apples and people are chasing them. Like there's just too much drama. Don't come to the Taste of Chicago. There's a lot of other festivals, right? I would go to the Puerto Rican festival before you go to the Taste of Chicago. Go to these festivals that are specific to communities, and oh man, you'll have some of the best food. You'll have Puerto Rican rice and steak and this coquito drinks, and you can go to these the black parades or the Polish parades, and people are welcoming you, and you can actually get authentic food at a fraction of the price. But you just have to plan it and understand when these festivals are happening. Taste of Chicago has become very touristy, and it's kind of like a crime trap as well.
It is a fantastic experience. So you always got something to do. Whether you want to watch sports, yeah, you can watch the Bulls play. You can watch the Bears, the Cubs, the White Sox. You can
Gotta go to
the
Cubs.
Fire. I mean, there's so many sports to do. Watch, see, things to do. Bike riding, all kinds of stuff here. Believe me, you will never be bored when you're here in Chicago. Oh yeah, there's also great nightlife. Rush Street or go party in Wrigleyville. Yeah, there's all kinds of stuff to do when you're here, so don't worry about being bored, okay? And the thing is, a lot of people don't realize is when you're a tourist, a lot of times you stay downtown or in the Loop. I'm going to go to the Magnificent Mile, then I'll stay in the Loop, I'll stay down in this area here. What you don't realize is, don't just stay in the Loop in the downtown area.
Yeah.
Go out and explore. There's really cool suburbs to go check out. Go to the North Shore. Go see Evanston. Go head out and go to Gurney, yes, and go to the Great America, stuff like that. The Lincoln Park Zoo. Go out to Greektown. There's all kinds of...
Yeah, there's very cool things to do in the city, and there's no shortage, right? But if you want to have, I don't want to say a more peaceful experience, and still kind of have that Chicago experience, there's a lot of western suburbs, even northern suburbs that are beautiful, have incredible restaurants, but it's not as populated as Chicago. There's not as much crime. And I'm not telling you don't visit Chicago. These are Chicagoland suburbs. Like, For instance, I live in the western suburbs. I'm about an hour west of the city. There's a beautiful suburb out here called Naperville. Well cut grass, well lit streets, amazing coffee, candy stores for the kids that are like old school candy stores where everything was a nickel, but they're not a nickel anymore. It's like $1 each or whatever. But beautiful candy store with anything you can think of. Amazing DVD stores and toy stores for the kids. Amazing restaurants. Great festivals like what is that one they have? Pig Fest, or I forget what it's called in Naperville, where it's like a pig roast and all these other businesses come around. It's so much more fun, and there's always like a petting zoo, and you can bring the kids. There's parking, and you don't have to worry about kind of the I hate to say the riffraff, but the Chicago people messing with you when you're trying to do things. Again, explore Chicago. But Naperville or some of these other suburbs, they're places that you can explore things later at night, right? You can go see the fireworks in Naperville, but you might not want to see the fireworks in Chicago, depending on where you have to go see those fireworks. Again, it's not the fireworks themselves. It's the conditions you're in when you're walking back to your vehicle or going to public transportation or returning to your hotel or going to go get food. Again, in some places of downtown Chicago, after hours, it turns into nightlife, and downtown can be relatively empty. So it can be scary, right? There's a lot of dark alleys and big buildings, and there's a lot of drunk youth, right? So if you're a family person, you're going downtown Chicago is probably not where you want to be at night, unless you're actually hitting the club scene, the bar scene, and whatnot. So just important to keep in mind.
Things you can see and do in the Chicago area that's not just in the Loop. Because as a tourist, most of the time we're kind of down here in the Loop, in the downtown area kind of stuff, maybe a little bit north of there on Michigan Avenue, and we don't get out there and see things. So make sure you go out and explore. And that public transportation will take you out there, okay? You can grab a Metro train, hit some of the suburbs as well, so that is really kind of a cool thing. Another dome, I guess I should say, is if you're going to be staying downtown, which you probably will, don't expect a lot going on after 6 or 7 o'clock at night downtown, because this is more of a work area, so people go home. So it's like a ghost town at night here and on the weekends. So,
AKA ghost town means crime, right? It means people are coming out from the woodworks that they only come out at night, right? Because there's more opportunities for theft, right? There's a lot of people that you drive downtown Chicago and you get that bum that's like, hey. And you're just like, what do I do? You roll down your window and he's like, hey, there's parking right up there. That spot's been open. You better hurry up and get it, bro. And then you're like, oh, thank you. Well, one, he wants a tip. But it's normally those people that are breaking into your car. They know that you're going to, hey, what are you up to tonight? Oh, yeah, that's a good club, man. It's a good time. You guys going to have fun, all right? I'll watch your car and you give me a little something extra. Well, they know that you're going to be in a club for at least a few hours, an hour at best. You come back out and your window's busted. They've ran through your car, right? They got in. So again, when they say that it's not, it's more of a not industrial, but a workplace. After hours, there's a certain demographic, and I don't mean black or white or whatnot, but I mean there's more. The poor people come out and they're begging, right? People are driving around with rims and music bumping. Kids are out drinking, smoking, right? It's an environment you have to be prepared for. It is a lot of fun. But again, you want to make sure that you move with purpose and you're moving the right way.
Do have a heads up for that. Keep your eyes open a little bit more in the evening time here. Because honestly, you're down here, maybe to go to a show at one of the theaters, maybe go out to eat, but there's not a lot of things going on here. Also, the shops here downtown actually close earlier than the malls in the suburbs and stuff like that. So just have a heads up for that. So kind of going on with that ghost town kind of feeling is sometimes you think ghost town, oh, should I be worried? Well, that kind of leads into another don't I have for here in Chicago. Don't be lackadaisical with your safety here. Kind of the most dangerous thing for a tourist, though, is when you cross the street because the drivers are a little nuts here. And they're
that is not the most dangerous. The most dangerous is being somewhere that you shouldn't be and being at the wrong place at the wrong time. Obviously, in Chicago, but we had something like 1,000 homicides last year. A lot of those homicides go unsolved, right? Because what happened was when the Chicago mayor, Mayor Daley, years ago left office, it became this time when everyone was trying to get tough on crime, right? Who's going to be the next leader of Chicago? You removed all these gang leaders off the street, and now unfortunately you have all these fractured crews. So instead of having just a few gangs and some hierarchy of organization within those gangs, you removed all of the leaders, and now you just got a bunch of little badass kids running around with guns, and there's a lot of shootings, right? You look at Chicago, and you just research it. 55 people shot this past weekend. 63 people shot this past weekend. Well, it's important to know not all of those are deaths. But yeah, you don't want to get shot either. But they happen really in pockets of Chicago that are mostly on the south and west side of Chicago. And again, you definitely don't want to be caught snoozing in Chicago, but you also don't want to put yourself somewhere you shouldn't be, especially if you're with a family. So I would recommend, downtown Chicago is a great area, but there's beautiful areas on the northwest side, and even west in Oak Park, and there's a lot of areas of Chicago that can be good, but you have to move with purpose, right? Don't be a Karen. If you don't know what a Karen is, you probably are one, right? Don't mind your business, right? Go visit these establishments, have fun, explore the city, but don't go, excuse me, you need to pull up your mask. Boop, 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 right? Chicago people don't play. We don't want to hear it either. If you're from Minnesota, wherever you're coming from, we don't want to hear the Bears, the Bulls. No, we don't want to hear about things that were only popular from, it's like people don't talk like that here. You don't know how often I get that in Chicago from people like, it's not like that, right? But let's get back to his.
They're quite aggressive, so do have a heads up when you're crossing the street. Don't just stand at the end or stand in the street when you're getting ready to go. Make sure you're paying attention.
Oh, next thing. If you rent a car or you're with someone or you borrowed a car, you might be familiar with road rage where you live in the world. The road rage can get you killed in Chicago. Fuck around and find out, right? If you're somewhere, and there's certain areas, specifically the west side of Chicago. If you're sitting there, don't be surprised if someone pulls up in the right lane besides you and tries to speed off and then cut off everyone and jump in front of you. It happens, especially if they think that you're a slower driver. The worst thing you can do is try to catch that person and I'm going to show them, right? I'm going to tell them, hey, man. Yeah, you'll mess around and get whooped, get shot. It's not worth it, right? Choose your battles. And there's been the shootings on the highway have been happening much more often over the last year or two. So definitely something you want to be prepared when it comes to road rage. Yeah, keep it shut. Go write about it on your blog, your travel blog when you return from Chicago. But don't get out of the car. You will mess around and get whooped. And Chicago people don't back down too easy.
That's one thing. Another thing, if you feel uncomfortable in any part, you don't feel right, go hop into a store or hop into a restaurant. It's okay, call a cab, call an Uber, and head out. I mean, there are some parts of Chicago you don't want to go to. I'm sure in the comment section you'll hear a lot of things down there. But what I recommend is ask your hotel, hey, we're looking to go here. Is it okay? Is that okay? Just ask them. And that's one thing you see anywhere in the world.
I don't know. You asking somebody at your glitzy hotel, they're gonna, there's certain things that they're more likely to tell you. You're better off reading reviews online. There's a lot of tools online that will tell you about certain areas. For the most part, you just don't want to go too far south or be caught on the west side of Chicago where it's a crime-filled area. There's opportunity, there's an open-air drug market, or that, right? You have to know those things. So I would say the safest thing would be to stay on the north or northwest side of Chicago. I wouldn't stay in the Loop. That's just me, but I think there's a lot of better hotels that will get you more involved with things. If you go to the Loop, you're like that rich, uppity person that is visiting Chicago because your daughter's in this ballet performance, and more power to you. You might want to stay downtown for that. But if you really want the Chicago experience and you want to experience the the culture and see why people love Chicago, I would stay on the northwest side of Chicago, and then you're relatively safe. You got parking. You can get everywhere you need to be. You're going to save a lot of money. You're going to have a lot of fun.
There's good parts of town, there's bad parts of town, so do have a heads up for that. And
anywhere can be a bad part of town if the right person finds you. So it's about opportunities. Don't be vulnerable.
Do ask where you should go or shouldn't go, because the city is fantastic, but there are issues you got to think about. Always keep your eye out. I mean, some of the things might just annoy you. It's not really a safety thing. You'll have guys say, "Can I have $1? Can I have $1?" I mean, all you got to say is either give $1 or say, "No, I'm sorry, man," or just walk by. You won't get in really any trouble there, but do be smart when you are here in Chicago.
What he's trying to say is move with purpose and be confident, right? Don't open up your purse and start looking for singles, right? Here, hold my phone. Let me check my bag and start pulling out all your digital equipment as you look for change on the bottom. Don't give a bum your phone and say, "Hey, can you take a picture of me?" Especially a bum that looks like he can outrun you, right? So you got to be smart, man. You just have to.
Chicago, because there are parts of towns you shouldn't go to, and if you're not sure, I would ask your concierge, "Hey, this is where we're going to go today. What do you think? Is that okay there?" And they'll let you know. And I would really just say is use your usual travel sense. If you're coming down here and where a lot of tourists are, keep your wallet in your front pocket and stuff like that. But overall, I haven't had really any problems in Chicago, but I know there are problems, so do have a heads up. But honestly, the biggest safety thing for you as a tourist is crossing that street, okay? Now, another kind of safety thing I have for you is, notice that sign behind me says "Caution Ice." Look, don't mess around with the falling snow and falling ice. If you come here in the winter, it can be dangerous. You see the building up there with that slant? Yeah, the ice packs up, the snow packs up, it falls. It can be dangerous, so don't mess around with those. I know some tourists are like, "Oh, that's a cool picture, I want to get that." Do have a heads up with those. And I guess another don't I'll kind of go along with that is, don't think you shouldn't visit Chicago in the winter. I'm here in the winter, and the thing is, the people in Chicago know that it's very cold and windy and snowy. It can be here in the wintertime in Chicago, and they've prepared the city for you. That means the museums, all the fantastic museums, the restaurants, all this stuff, you can have a great time inside when you're here. So don't be scared for coming here in the winter months. Now, I'm not going to say it's the best time to come, because you come here in January with the wind and you're walking like this, maybe you're not going to have as good of a time as you came here in the spring or the summer when you can hit the beaches and stuff like that.
And one thing I always recommend is have what's called a just-in-case bag. If you're somebody that had a kid, you're probably familiar with the term. It's like a go bag, right? Or if you're a police officer or officer of the law, someone that's on call quite a bit. But a go bag is if you're traveling and you're out here in the winter, remember, it's not uncommon to get really bad weather in Chicago, and it changes frequently. So if you rent a car, I would recommend paying the little bit extra and getting the SUV, right? Because you're going to need that four-wheel drive if you're here in the winter. But also, you have to keep a little blanket, right? Stop at Target or Walmart when you get in Chicago. Keep a little throw blanket. Keep a sweater, keep a few candy bars, keep some bottled water, because you can get stuck somewhere in Chicago snow or Chicago weather, and it might be a while before someone can come and get you. What I would recommend, just from a safety perspective, if something happened with my car and AAA or whatever, it's like, it's going to be at least an hour or two situation, I would catch an Uber back to your hotel or your Airbnb and let them deal with it, especially if it's a rental car company. You just don't want to be a sitting duck, and people see that you're, especially if you're in a questionable area of Chicago or you don't know where you are, you're stuck in the snow. If you're moving around with just a polo on, you're in a bad situation. So always make sure that you have something in the bag, in the back, right? Bottled water, especially if you got kids, right? Some snacks, extra pair of gloves, a shovel, or so, right? There's a lot of things that you can do. Cat litter, right? People in Chicago know those tricks. If your car gets stuck, you can put a cardboard box under it. You're trying to get traction. Cat litter works well. Put it under the tires. It'll help dig you out. But again, you don't want to deal with it that much, especially if you're somewhere where you don't quite understand your surroundings and you can't really pinpoint your exact location from a safety point of view.
That and go out on Lake Michigan and do an architectural boat tour and things like that. It's
cool.
Better to come in the summer and spring, but don't think you can't come in the winter time, okay? And speaking of some tourist stuff, Don't forget to do one of those architectural boat tours when you're here. Look, this is kind of the...
Don't pay full price. Remember what I said. Go on Gold Star. You can get these tickets really discounted.
A home of the skyscraper, and you have amazing architecture throughout the city. I mean, I would say don't forget to stretch your neck out before you come to Chicago, because you're going to be looking up and seeing all these really cool skyscrapers, all these really cool buildings. You know, the Tribune Tower, the Wrigley Building, yes, the Sears Tower or Willis Tower, however you spell it. There's all kinds of the Hancock.
But think about the great architects, right? That you can look at some of the buildings that they created inside of Chicago. Look at Oak Park. Look at some of the buildings in Humboldt Park, right? There's a lot of old Victorian houses and just awesome architecture in the city itself as well.
Building going around, oh my gosh, there's so many fantastic buildings to take in and architecture to come in. And if you take that architectural boat tour on the Chicago River, it's really cool because they give you the history and the explanations of the buildings and the styles, and it really brings a lot more out. So when you walk around the city, you really get a lot more bang for your buck when you look at these fantastic buildings.
Agreed.
Now, you notice I had a little problem saying Sears, Willis, Sears Tower.
It's only
Look, my
Sears.
next don't for you is don't call it Willis Tower with the locals. Look, it's always going to be the Sears Tower. Now, if you might not know this, it's actually spelled W-I-L-L-I-S Tower, but you pronounce it Sears Tower, okay? Just so you know.
Just so you know, too, right? Most people won't even know what you're talking about. If you say Willis Tower or whatever it is today, I was like, I don't know, man. I'm sorry. But you go, oh, Sears Tower. Like, oh, man, just 2 blocks up, make a left, right? And Sears Tower is cool, but there's a lot of other downtown buildings that can give you an equally good experience that don't charge as much. And you can go way high up, and there's different bars, restaurants, and facilities. It can be very cool.
Oh, okay, I mean, it's one of those things. It's changed names, okay? And the thing is, Sears Tower or Willis Tower was at one time the tallest building in the world. Yeah. And they actually have an observation deck at the top you can go see. It's probably one of the most popular pictures, aside from the bean, that I see from people when they go to Chicago. But I'm going to tell you something, for going to the Willis/Sears Tower, don't feel that you have to pay to go up and get a great view of the city, and that's the only place to get it. What I recommend, go to the Hancock Building, 96th floor. Yep. There's a bar there. It's free to go up, and you have free views of this beautiful city. But also what's cool is the drinks up there are actually pretty fairly priced, so why not head to the...
Great place for a date night to take a girl, or if you're visiting people that are special to you in Chicago. There's no other feeling. It's a classy place, right? And be aware, if you have to ask yourself, man, should I wear this? Don't go wearing your Bulls jersey, trying to go up there, man. Put a blazer on, put a collar shirt on. That's one of those things a lot of places won't tell you. But if you're moving downtown, if you're in downtown Chicago, just ask yourself, have a nice blazer, some nice shoes. You can wear jeans and a blazer, but the best thing is just don't look scruffy, especially if you're, I hate to say this, but if you're a person of color like I am, people will judge you, and you'll find yourself, Chicago is extremely segregated, and if they want to find a way not to let you in, they will. You'll find some clubs, and they'll look at your crew, and they're just looking, they're like, hey, bro, you can't get in with jeans, man. Or, no, you can't get in with those shoes. And you're like, what? Bro, I'm not from here. I'm here visiting. We're going to go. You're not visiting here, bro. And they'll just completely tell, especially in the nightlife scene. So be prepared for that. If you are going to go to the Hancock Center, the Hancock Building, and go up to the bar, keep in mind that this is a very classy place. And you just don't want to look like you're going to the park. Sears Tower, you can, because it's very touristy. And again, you're paying for that experience. But just keep, read the room, right? Understand your surroundings if you're going to the bar.
Hancock, go up the 96th floor, hit the bar there, have a great drink while you look at this great city. That's a much better way to spend your money that you'd spend going up to the top of the Sears/Willis Tower. Spend that on a drink in the Hancock Building. That's what I would recommend. Now, some other tourist things you should know about. One thing is, if you're going to go to Navy Pier, which is very much a tourist place, realize, don't expect to see locals at Navy Pier. Navy Pier, it's really developed for tourists, and it's nice for tourists to go to. I go there because I'm a tourist. I'm not from Chicago. I enjoy that. But
there are things to do. Don't get me wrong, right? The Ferris wheel is very fun. There's places to eat, places you can get drinks, right? There's no shortage of things to buy, right? but it's very touristy. Most people from Chicago, or if you're visiting a person from Chicago and you're like, hey, let's go to Navy Pier, they'll look at you like, why? Right? It's overpriced and unnecessary. It's for someone that wants a Chicago experience without wanting the Chicago experience, right?
Locals will tell you, oh, that's a tourist thing, so
Yeah.
don't expect to see the locals there. Another thing I guess I should say about the locals, don't expect to hear that Chicago accent. You saw on TV back in the day, Alex Sassage in Chicago, the Bears, the Bulls. People don't talk like that here anymore, okay? Yes, you'll find a few people that...
Bro, and it happens all the time. That's how you know. It's when somebody gets there, you're at the airport, and they always got something they think is relevant, and it's like for the Blues Brothers, or it's the 1985 Bears. It's something that is just so corny, and it's like, bro, that is not Chicago at all, bro.
I do occasionally, but in general, the Chicago accent sadly has kind of died off, so you're not going to hear that when you're here. Another don't with the people here.
Well, here, let's give you another don't too. Realize that even though there's not a Chicago accent, a lot of people that are, I don't want to say from the hood, which is a big part of Chicago, right? Sometimes they can speak in a what you might consider an aggressive fashion, right? Not everyone sounds like I do or like he does. But keep in mind, when someone's asking you for change or they're approaching you about their sad sob story, they can come off as slightly aggressive. It doesn't necessarily mean that you're in trouble or there's violence coming. That's just a way. There's an arrogance in Chicago. Some people refer to it when we talk about someone like Kanye West, right? There's a Chicago confidence that it's kind of hard to explain, but don't think that someone's mad at you just because of the inflection of their voice, if you would.
Don't expect to see the locals there. Another thing I guess I should say about the locals, don't expect to hear that Chicago accent. You saw on TV back in the day, Alex Sassage in Chicago, the Bears, the Bulls. People don't talk like that here anymore, okay? Yes, you'll find a few people that do occasionally, but in general, the Chicago accent sadly has kind of died off, so you're not going to hear that when you're here. Another don't with the people here, don't trust everyone that tells you they're from Chicago, because most likely they're from the suburbs.
Yeah.
Actually, Chicago, the city proper, is actually relatively small, and most of the people in the Chicago metropolitan area live out in the suburbs. So that person you meet that says, oh yeah, I'm from Chicago, they might be from Evanston, or they might be from Naperville, or Arlington Heights, or Tinley Park, or wherever. And the thing is, if you have people that are from real Chicago, like they were born here in Chicago, they grew up in Chicago, they will call out those people every single day.
Every
really?
time.
What street were you? Where'd you grow up? Which school did you go to? You're from Naperville. Oh, right. So you're not really from Chicago, you're from the burbs, okay?
And you know what? This becomes even more important when you're getting advice about where to go in Chicago. Because I guarantee you, someone from Naperville or Park Ridge or Evanston or Wilmette, they're gonna kind of send you off, right? Oh man, I went to this one spot. Oh no, it's cool, man. It's a different experience for people that aren't from Chicago. It's more of a trip, and to be honest, a lot of times they're looked at as tourists. If you are from Chicago, you went to grammar school in Chicago, you ran these Chicago streets, then you know where to go and you know how to move and you know places you know how to move in the city. So be careful when you talk to, someone at your hotel and you ask them, they might be from a suburb, right? And they're kind of, oh yeah, this is really cool. Take the L, nah, bro, not in that part of town. Make sure that you're getting advice from the right people. And yeah, people in Chicago do not like to hear, like, all right, I call bullshit. I'm at this party, a college party, and all you people are from Chicago. What street? What block? And people will call you out. That's Chicago for you, right? We don't back down, but we will check someone that's out here saying the wrong thing. Like, oh, I'm from the city. You're not representing Chicago. What block were you on? What grammar school did you go? Where does your grandmama stay? Right? And some people might ask you like that. It's not where do you live. It's where do you stay. Where you from, right? That's how they say it down here. So you just have to understand how to move. Once you come out here once or twice, man, you'll get the feeling of it. Chicago is an awesome place to be.
So that's sort of a little fun thing you'll see with the locals here. Now, another thing tourists love to do when they travel is eat, and Chicago is no exception to those eating cities. And my don't for that is don't Don't come to Chicago on a diet. They love huge portion sizes. They love their food. They love their meat. They love their everything here. And you're going to eat a lot when you're here. I mean, the deep dish pizza here, the Chicago-style deep dish pizza, yeah, it's like this thick. And you will just be, so full. And the thing is, there's so many great restaurants here. It's not just the deep dish pizza and the Chicago hot dog. No, there's so much more here. Go to Greektown, have amazing Greek food. Little Italy, there's great Mexican food here. Have some great Polish food, German food. There's so many different nationalities and ethnicities here.
And go to Chinatown. Chinatown has amazing Chinese food, but it's priced proportionate to it being in a Chinese neighborhood, right? You get this massive meal, and it's like $7, right? You're like, ooh, damn. And you're just going to eat good. You're going to have Chinese tea, right? Big portions of rice, big portions of food, good soup. There's a place in Chinatown I recommend called Seven Treasures. Really good place. They're really deceiving, right, at first glance, but the food is amazing and just priced extremely well. But Chinatown is a vibe in itself. Just the architecture and just the surroundings. Really cool place. I take the kids all the time, and we go get ice cream and just different things that we don't get in other areas of Chicago. Now, we used to do this thing every Wednesday. I'd pick the kids up from school, and we would go explore some different type of food. Mexican food, Puerto Rican food, Polish food, Chinese food, right? Sushi. We're just doing all these different things. There's no shortage of that in the city. And remember, it's not just the big brands. Everybody wants to talk about Portillo's and Giordano's. There's so many places in Chicago that aren't on the map, but they just have incredible food. But they're mom and pop restaurants that are in the city of Chicago. Man, if you really want to get your money's worth and understand what Chicagoans eat, remember, if you're talking to someone who's just been a Chicagoan all their life, they're not going to Portillo's for their Italian beef, right? Their beef and sausage combo, dipped, right, with the juices, with some hot peppers or giardiniera and a root beer. They're getting that from their mom and pop shop. It's more the suburban people. You go to Portillo's and there's a line wrapped around it because they don't know where else to get it, right? And people in the hood in Chicago, they know, oh man, you go to Bruno's right down the street, right? Or go to this place, right? You want ice cream, don't go to Oberweis Dairy, right? Go to Margie's. Now, the real ones know Margie's, where they actually make real shakes and malts, and they make it like they would have in yesteryear. So just there's so many incredible things, but you really need either a more urban person to show you around, or you just need to be able to reference this information online.
Here in Chicago, and they brought their food here, so you have amazing food when you're here. So don't come on a diet, just go and enjoy everything, all right? Now, I do have a couple don'ts for some traditional Chicago things. One, if you get the deep dish pizza here in Chicago, don't think you can finish the pizza yourself.
Oh.
I know a lot of people go, I get a pan pizza from Pizza Hut, I get a medium and finish it myself. Oh, no. That's like their tiny baby, little tiny brother.
A Chicago stuffed pizza, especially Giordano's, Lou Malnati's, I mean, it is thick. It is a meal in itself. Think of it more like lasagna, but that's in the shape of pizza, right? It is delicious. It is amazing. There's thick layers of cheese, but I'm a bigger guy. I can eat 1 or 2 slices, maybe 3, but that's pushing it. I mean, it's really something where you should get the smaller portion. But keep in mind, there are areas in Chicago where there's incredible pizza, but it's not these really well-known places. I like Mama Luna's. It's a place in Chicago on the northwest side, and you just get a lot for your money, and it's incredible.
This is the Chicago-style deep dish pizza. This stuff, I'm talking like, I can barely finish 2 slices. That's how thick and big it is, with all the meat and cheese and...
Thick and big like your mom.
And the sauce on...
And hey, people in Chicago... there's we can talk a lot of smack, right? So don't get butt hurt. Right? When you're in Chicago, some people will mess with you, and they might throw your mom joke out. Normally, it's referred to just that when you're comfortable in your places that you're comfortable, but don't come and be too soft either, because people in Chicago do talk a little bit of shit too. So be prepared.
Top and a really thick crust. I mean, it will really fill you up. I had some last night, and I was smart. I got the individuals.
Like we had your mom last night.
Size. The guy next to me was a tourist from England. He's like, oh, I'll get a small. That's what I get at Pizza Hut at home. I'm like, dude, get the individual. He's like, no, I'll get it. And he sat there. He got through 2 and maybe a half pieces and didn't eat the end of them. And he's like, I can't eat anymore. I'm like, I told you.
Yep.
And so do have a heads up for that. Also, don't be surprised if it takes them about 45 minutes to cook
At
that
least.
deep dish pizza, because it takes a while to be there. Also, don't let them talk you into getting appetizers.
Yeah.
It's going to be enough food anyway when you get the pizza, okay? So instead of ordering food appetizers, just drink some of the good Chicago beer when
Yeah.
you're here. Revolution
Revolution,
Brewery,
yeah,
Two Brothers
yeah.
Brewery. Maybe get some Goose Island when you're
312.
here. I mean, a 312 is always good with pizza,
Yeah.
so do have that. Another don't with the food, if you get that Chicago dog, you know, people always say, well, don't put ketchup on your Chicago dog.
Oh.
It's true. It's got so much other stuff on there, it doesn't need it. I mean, it's got
Also, people in Chicago don't do that. That's normally your what you see more from the movies. Oh, ketchup and mustard on my dog. Yeah, Chicago dog has so much stuff on it. Ketchup would just make it extremely messy. But it also takes away from the flavor. If you really want a good dog, there's a lot of places. I'm sure everyone has their neighborhood full. They're the best dog ever. But if you want an authentic, kind of urban hot dog joint, check out Jimmy's Red Hots on Grand and Pulaski and their fries. Man, just an amazing stop and just a classic hot dog. But it's a little bit in the hood. Again, move with purpose.
pickles and relish and tomatoes and mustard and like sweet jalapenos, like kind of things on top. It's so good, and it's got so many other flavors that it mix perfectly together that you don't need the ketchup.
Yeah.
So don't worry about that. One of the great things about Chicago is actually it has something for everybody. Whether you like culture, whether you like food, whether you like sports, whether you like art, there's all kinds of stuff for everybody. So what I want to say is, don't forget to bring the whole family when you come here to Chicago, because they have stuff for everybody. Yes, you can do the amusement parks like Great American, stuff like that, or you can do the Art Institute or the Museum of Science and Industry. My kids love it every time we go there. We spend an entire day there. And that's what's so cool about Chicago. The people are friendly. They're cool with the kids being here. There's stuff for them all the time. So
Especially in the suburbs like Naperville, Skokie, Evanston. There's a lot of stuff for the kids. Go to like chicagokids.org, I believe, and you can find a map of everything going on. But you can also look on Groupon and whatnot, or Gold Star. It's the same way. You can search for more family-friendly events.
don't think this is just a romantic getaway place. This is actually a really cool place for the whole family to come to, okay? And speaking of places you should go with the family, or maybe not with the family, it's up to you. Go into a game at Wrigley. And I would say, don't think baseball is too boring to go to a game at Wrigley Field.
Baseball is boring, but I'm not really a sports guy, but going to Wrigley, it's an experience in itself. Everywhere around Wrigley, there's just bars and restaurants that are themed, have that baseball theme. They kind of remind you of what baseball was to Chicagoans 10 or 20 years ago. It's definitely different from going to the South Side, where they have, again, we'll always call it Comiskey Park. Now it's U.S. Cellular Field, or it might even be something different now. But the area is very different there. It's a little bit more urban around Comiskey Park. The north side is what most people think of when they think of Chicago. You think of the Cubs. It's safe around there. There's a lot to do. For the kids, a lot of the spots are bar related. You can go there like bar and grill with the kids, but it's somewhere, especially for the 21 to 35-year-olds, it can be a lot of fun going there drinking and partying. There's no shortage of things to do and things to get into.
Field. For those of you who don't know, baseball is a very popular sport here in the U.S., but a lot of people that don't know it think it's pretty boring. And actually, people that actually know baseball think it's kind of boring sometimes. But the thing is, going to a game at Wrigley to see the Chicago Cubs is like the quintessential, I know it's my favorite word in these videos, quintessential Chicago sports visit, okay? The whole area, it's called Wrigleyville. There's tons of bars, restaurants, all kinds of stuff. It's like, it should be called Partyville, because before the game, during the game, and after the games, they have party time, okay? And you're drinking your beers and having your fun and going to watch the Cubs play. And what's cool, as a tourist, the Cubs play during the day a lot of times. In the summer, they have 81 home games, okay? Most of them are during the day. So you can see some sights during the day.
That's where it's worth Ubering, right? Or taking public transportation, because parking around Wrigley can be expensive. And again, you have to move with purpose. It's much easier to jump in an Uber. They actually have people that ride around on bikes with like a little carriage in the back that'll drive you around as well.
Then the afternoon, go head out to a game, take it in. Sitting in the bleachers is a must, but don't think that there's assigned seats in the bleachers. You just kind of go where you want to go. Yes, you buy overpriced beer, but it's such a great experience to go to the game that really don't pass it up if you have a chance here in Chicago, okay? Another don't I have for you has to do with the airport. Look, there's O'Hare, there's Midway here. O'Hare's probably the airport you're probably going to fly into, or out of. And my don't for you is don't mess with O'Hare. Look, if you've got a flight out.
Let's be honest, most people, just even Chicagoans like myself, we don't use Midway Airport. You might if you're a South Sider, but it's normally associated with the cheaper airlines that you end up paying in other ways, right? But not only that, but O'Hare, it's just the train takes you directly to these areas on the northwest side of Chicago. It's just the one that I'm more familiar with. But yeah, do not play. It's not uncommon to have extremely long lines. You have to plan in advance. Normally, I go to the airport at least 2 hours before the flight leaves, just to make sure there's no BS, because there's always some BS.
They say be there 2 hours early, be there 2 hours early, okay? They say be there 3 hours early, be there 3 hours early. Because O'Hare is infamous for sometimes long check-in lines, long security checkpoints, stuff like that, and it can take a long time. And I know a lot of people that have missed flights because they didn't get through 100%. Security fast enough. So don't mess.
And they change your gate often, so you have to keep monitoring.
Around with O'Hare. And if you're flying in internationally, you're transferring through Chicago, you'll fly into Terminal 5, and then you got to take the train to one of the other terminals. The thing is, when you do that, you go out, and the train is outside security, so you have to go on that and then go back through security again to get back in the other terminal. So do have a heads up for that. It will take you some time, so don't mess around with O'Hare, okay? A couple more don'ts for you. When you are going around Chicago, don't expect to find a lot of public toilets. You'll see a lot of restaurants and places will say no.
And again, it's because of the crime. They're trying to keep out riffraff. So most places are pretty, if they see that you're going to buy something or you look like a presentable person, they're okay with it, especially if you have kids. But yeah, if you're not buying anything and you walk into a mom and pop place, they'll just be like, no public toilet,
No free public toilet or something like that. So you might need to grab a drink or something for to use their bathrooms. Yeah. Another don't I have for you, if you're going to take the metro out to the suburbs, don't forget to pick up your ticket at the ticket station before you get on the metro, because you can buy the tickets on the metro, but they do charge you like $5 more. So if you're going to go out there, save the $5, don't forget to pick up the ticket before you get on.
Also, there's different trains, right? There's different, not all metro trains, they all come to the loop, but they all leave and they go in different directions. So you have to understand which track you're going to take. That's going to get, if you're going to Naperville, there's a specific line, right? Then whether if you're going to south suburbs, north suburbs, west. So it's important, I think, to go to also verify that you're in the right place and to verify that you're getting the right ticket as well.
So just a couple other ones I want to put in. We'll go back to the pretty bean for some more stuff. And my last don't for you here in Chicago is don't pass up the second city. Look, Chicago should be the first city you want to visit when you come to the U.S. because of the culture, because of the sports, because of the festivals, because of the awesome people. You will love Chicago, the Midwest feel here, the friendly people, the fun stuff to do. It really is a fantastic city to visit. That's why when you talk to people that come to the U.S., you'll see an inordinate amount of people say, I really love Chicago because this city rocks, okay? So I hope this helps you know a bit more about Chicago so you're more prepared when you do come here. We have some other videos. I have some really, really old videos from being here, but also some more recent ones like 5 things you should eat when you come here and other things like that to help you out. Also, if you want some other don'ts, maybe the don'ts of visiting the U.S. or the don'ts of the Midwest, check us out on our website at waltersworld.com. We're also on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Pinterest. And we really appreciate your likes, subscriptions, and if you do like travel videos like that, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification button, and we put out new travel videos every Wednesday and Saturday, so you can have good travel videos, fun, honest travel videos like this at least twice a week. Also, we'd like to give a big shout-out thank you to all of our patrons on Patreon who help make videos like this possible. Anyway, we'll say bye from here in Chicago and have a good time. I'm going to go grab a 312 and have myself a little pizza, well, big fat pizza, and I'm going to enjoy my day. So, bye from Chicago.
That was overall an awesome video, and I think he did a really good job of describing Chicago for someone who's coming from out of town or staying downtown. But again, if you're young, you're a little bit more urban, you want to get the full experience, there's just rules to moving in Chicago, and they're not any different from any other urban place in the world. The most important thing to take away from this is move with purpose, understand your surroundings, and just be aware of what's going on around you and be naturally skeptical of the people that you encounter as well. And you'll have a great time in Chicago. And if you want some places to check out that might be a little bit more urban or little low-key places, like, there's some incredible jazz clubs. You can post up, watch some good jazz. You can listen to the blues. You can smoke a cigar or smoke whatever you want. And there's some just nice places that aren't necessarily on the map like that. Make sure you like the video. Subscribe to the channel as well. Let me know if you need any tips and pointers when you come visit the city.